are Group 3, and today we're going to be talking about greening the menu, specifically how students can lead the sustainable dining revolution. These are my group mates, Marina, Angela, Kara, and Nyazika, and my name is Miran, if I didn't say before. What if the most powerful tool for sustainability on our campus isn't solar panels or recycling bins, but our plates? In Wally, Earth was buried under piles of trash, while humans were floating around on screens and convenience food. It's meant to be a cartoon, a work of fiction, but if we look around, it's not that far-fetched. Universities waste thousands of kilos of food every year, food that can feed whole communities. In fact, 1/3 of food produced globally is wasted. That's a lot. And if Wally taught us anything, it's that small habits can turn into huge mess over time. So the question now is, how sustainable are our dining practices on our campus? Think about it. Buffet leftovers, single-use plastics, oversized portions. It's all a part of campus life, but it slowly ends up harming the environment. Every plastic fork or untouched meal adds up. So when students start to pay attention, eat sizable meals, taking only what we can finish, using reusable containers, and maybe even trying out a plant-based diet, that's when the real change will begin. It's not about being perfect, it's about being aware, and it's also about being intentional. So what can we do about it? Well, by reducing waste, supporting local sourcing, and maybe trying out a plant-based diet, we can lead by example. In Wally, it took one little robot to remind humanity to care and treat its planet well. On our campus, it can be one student, one action that can spark and ignite this change. So let's not wait for a robot to clean up our mess.
Okay. Have you ever watched Moving Valley? That's a little robot who can up all the trash wasted in our planet. Now imagine if Valley come to our university. He would see plates full of leftovers. He would see also food in the trash and students wasting their food every single day. The fund from University Sains Malaysia in 2022 found that 71 kilogram waste like every single day. How do you think it's a lot? I think yeah, it's a lot, because like it's same as throwing away full bucket of meal every day. Why does it happen? First, students take too much food and don't finish it. Second is that canteens produce a lot of food more than needed. And the third one is like people don't think too much about wastage food and how it hurts our planet. When we waste food, we also waste our water, electricity, and hard work of farmers. So even if our world don't look like Valley world yet, we are keeping change it, and it will be still so bad, and we can't do anything with this.
Okay, so let me ask you all a question. How many of you actually know where your last meal came from? Or how much fuel it even took to get to you? Anyone? No one? Exactly. The reality is the majority of us actually have no idea where our meals come from or how far it even travels to get to us. Think of Wally, a world buried under its own waste because no one cared to ask where things came from or where they went after. This brings us to our second point, lack of student awareness. A 2025 study show that a majority of university students, kind of like you, actually lack basic sustainability knowledge. And this lack of awareness leads us to making uninformed decisions regarding what we eat next and how it affects our planet. In fact, many people, when they think of sustainability, in fact, the two leading factors affecting what we eat are taste and health, not sustainability. In fact, many people, when we think of sustainability, our mind immediately goes to recycling and saving energy. But let me tell you, that in 2022, FAO found that 1/3 of global gas emissions derive from food production alone. Now, this not only affects our planet, but it also affects our local farmers who are using eco-friendly methods to get their products to us. So why does this matter to us as SHM students? Well, we as the future chefs and hoteliers and hospitality professionals are the ones who are going to be deciding what ends up on our menu, what goes on in our kitchen, in our hotels, and also where we source our ingredients. So, if we don't start understanding sustainability now, we risk ending up like Wally's world, where humans left the planet and had to relearn to care for it again.
Okay, now imagine if Wallace visited our university cafeterias. What would he see? Imported ingredients and food that traveled halfway across the world just to reach us. We may not be living in Wallace's world yet, but if we don't change how we eat, we might be getting better than we think. Here's the truth. Malaysia's food industry, even our university cafeterias, relies too much on imported ingredients instead of supporting local farmers. According to study, up to 90% of red meat is imported. And research on food production and consumption shows that this supply chain from shipping to processing adds a huge amount of carbon emissions. Now, how does this affect us, students? First, prices go up. Imported food costs more and we pay for that in our meals. Second, freshness fades. The longer the food travels, the less fresh and tasty it becomes. Third, local farms miss the chance to supply us with fresh local produce. So now, imagine eating a salad that traveled 3,000 kilometers away just to get to your plate. Less fresh, more expensive, and worse for the environment. Meanwhile, the local farmers could provide fresh from the soil and at a lower cost. Just like Wally's cleaning up the humanity's bad choices, we might one day be forced to clean up the environmental mess our food system creates.
Okay, but there is a good news. We can change it. Here at Sunway University, we can start the small and make a big difference. Let's imagine Wally helping us start a zero waste kitchen challenge. What we can do? First, it's take small portions on only what we can eat. Secondly, share extra food with other students instead of throwing it away. Also, compost food scraps used in campus gardens. And the last and the most important thing is learn how to eat more sustainably. Now you can see how Wally and students helping each other.
Be smart, save food, especially here at Sunway University.
Also, every small action matters. Every clean plate can help our planet, and together we can make our Sunway University to be more greener and cleaner to stay and study here.
Okay, so how do we actually improve student awareness? Well, maybe it's time we get a bit closer to the roots of our food. What if we actually met the people growing our food? A study by Prescott and others found that farm-to-school partnerships actually improve students' awareness and knowledge on food origins. And I believe the same could happen here. Imagine your next culinary class using fresh produce from a farmer right here in Salomon. Not some fancy supplier, but someone our campus actually knows by name. Now imagine if every hospitality school did the same. How much more aware and sustainable our future chefs would be. Because I believe as future food professionals and hospitality professionals, it's our responsibility to start making those changes now and influence others to do the same. Kind of like Wally, finding down one small plant, it starts with one small change. Supporting local farmers could be our version of planting that tiny seed of hope.
So, we can make a difference. Let's encourage our university to offer more plant-based and local food options. How would that work? First, cafeteria update. Add tasty, affordable local meals like no meat every Monday, or we can call it meat-free Mondays. Second, awareness campaigns. Use posters, social media, and events to show how eating local produce helps the planet and saves our money. Third, collaboration. Work with local farms and student clubs to make it happen, and it really works. Studies shows that skipping meat just one day a week can cut carbon emissions by over 50%, and it also boosts student health. So, local food equals fresh meals, lower cost, and a greener future. It's a win for everyone. Let's start small. One plate, one meal, one free meat Mondays at a time, so that our futures doesn't look like Wally's world and it stays green, not gray.
So, before we end our presentation, I want you to imagine something. Tomorrow morning, you walk into class and see a small poster. Zero Waste Kitchen Challenge. Join us. And you stop for a moment. You've been hearing about food waste, important ingredients, and sustainability all day. And now, here's your chance to do something about it. And that's where the change starts, with one small action. It's just like Wally, who kept cleaning a planet full of trash, doing his job even when no one's watching. He showed us that even these small efforts can make a huge difference. Here at Sunway, we don't have mountains of garbage, but we do have the food waste, plastic packaging, and too much imported food. Think about the little green plant that Wally found. That tiny plant gave hope to everyone. It brought people back to Earth. Our plan could be the Zero Waste Kitchen Challenge. One small step that makes a big change. Less waste, more local food, and more awareness on campus. Talk about this with your student representative and ask her to share this with the faculty. Let's build a campus where every meal has a purpose, every ingredient is valued, and nothing is wasted. And if you don't like joining clubs, that's okay too. You can still help by posting it online. Share a photo of your local meal, tag Sunway University, and ask others why does it matter. When you do that, you actually help making sustainability more normal in our everyday life, because it's not just about learning, but it's about living with it every day. Here's my challenge for you. Let's make Sunway University a place where every meal has its own story. A story of care, awareness, and change. Because when we waste less, we learn more. When we choose local, we grow stronger. And when we eat with purpose, we help our planet, our community, and most of all, ourselves. Let's start small and grow something big together. Let's make that happen. starting today. Thank you.